Takes it away. Chabot's got it. Chabot in. Scores! It's a game winner for Thomas Chabot.
Oh, I forgot this is what being a Sens fan felt like. How's it going, Sens fans? Welcome back to a brand new video. The Ottawa Senators just played a 3-game series against the Winnipeg Jets, and they managed to lose every single one of them. Every single game. And what was really frustrating over these 3 games is a lot of them were winnable. That second game, which I'll get to, but that first one and points of that third one, we totally could have had that, but they just laid a huge egg. We'll start with game 1, which happened on January 19th. That was actually an exciting game. That was fun to watch till the end, which we'll get to. In this game, Alex Galchenyuk makes his Ottawa Senators debut. Tim Stützle, he's out with an injury which wasn't caused by Muzzin, so Muzzin, you're safe for now. Matt Murray would start in this game, giving him his 3rd start as an Ottawa Senator. And this game started out actually pretty one-sided. It's like the Sens were really bummed out about that loss to Toronto, so they came out full swing, full firepower, just ready to go against the Jets. They would get a power play pretty early on. It was good pressure. It was really nice to see. They were making plays, making passes, and they ended up scoring on that power play. Josh Norris, he'd end up getting the power play goal with assists from Evgeny Dadonov and Drake Batherson. It was a really nice goal. And just like that, the Senators are up 1-0. The Senators would continue their impressive play, and Zaitsev, on a nice feed from Coburn, Zaitsev's really good at getting these tipping shots. Takes a shot from the point, and it goes to Chris Tierney, and he bats it in. 2-0 Ottawa. Really solid effort from the team so far. They would get some good opportunities. Brady Tkachuk would have a few good chances. Alex Galchenyuk would end up getting a penalty, though don't let that deter you from the fact that he was playing incredibly well tonight, even before. He fit in really well with the lineup, and you could tell he was reading the plays, he was jumping into the plays, he was trying to score. The Sens would end up killing that penalty, and Austin Watson, really good penalty killer, had many good clears on that penalty kill. Ottawa would end up getting another power play, nothing really happened. Eric Branson, he did a really nice job blocking shots to the point where he was in and out of the dressing room for the remainder of the game just because of how much it probably hurt. So good on him for that. Hope he's alright. And right before the second period starts, Winnipeg had a score goal, just try and get some momentum going before you head into the next period. It's 2-1 Ottawa. Lowry would end up getting the goal for Winnipeg. And then we head into the second period. Braden Coburn, he'd get a penalty early on, but him and Watson would make a play as soon as he got out of the box. A little nice passing play, which led to a nice scoring chance. Brossoit ended up denying it. He was starting that game. It was a really nice play. It was also noticeable Nick Paul was continuing his really impressive play that he's continued throughout the start of the season. The Senators went out getting another power play, and the pressure on this was immense. It was the best power play I've seen from them all year, and it would pay off as Alex Galchenyuk, who was itching for a goal all night, gets a power play goal in his Senators debut to make it 3-1 for the Ottawa Senators. Mike Riley and Derek Stepan with the assists on that one. This game started getting really scrappy at this point. A lot of people were at each other. Branson and Wheeler were going at it. Chuck was getting all in Stanley's business. At this point in the game, I thought the Senators were dominating. They were clearly the better team. Winnipeg was having trouble finding an answer for the Sens. Toward the end of the second, the Sens took a penalty, Austin Watson slashing, and the Jets would get a power play goal to make this game even closer than it already was. Now, based on what I'd seen from Toronto, I was really worried that we were going to get a really poor effort, and as they go on the ice for the third period, they actually looked really good. They were dominating the whole first part of the third period. So my question now is, what the hell happened? They got a power play that was really good, they had a lot of chances, and then after that it just fell apart. The passing was sloppy, passes weren't connecting, the chemistry wasn't there, they're just having a hard time setting everything up. And then on a power play goal from Josh Morrissey, the Jets tie the game 3-3, and we end up going to overtime. And I was already ticked off at this point because we should have won this game. There was no reason why we should have taken the foot off the gas pedal, and we just gave up. Nikolai Ehlers, he'd end up getting the goal just not even like a minute in overtime. And that's it. The Sens lose 4-3 in overtime. That was the most frustrating part about this game. It was completely winnable, and they were outplaying the Jets. They were out shooting the Jets. They were out hitting them. And then we head into the second game, which happened just a few days later on January 21st. It was the end of the Senators' homestand. They had one last game in Ottawa before heading out to Winnipeg for that final game of the series. Boy, let me tell you, did this game suck? And was it hard to watch? Oh my god, was it incredibly painful to watch. Alex Galchenyuk would get a penalty right at the start of the game and the Jets would be on the power play. This was a good all-around penalty kill though, not just because of Matt Murray standing on his head. The Senators actually only allowed 2 shots on that entire power play. The Sens were off to a really slow start. However, Chuck, Shabbat, and Galchenyuk all had really good chances though, despite the Sens starting off pretty slow. They were the ones applying a lot of the pressure. Murray would make as many saves as he could, but Nikolai Ehlers scored. You'll be hearing that a lot, making a 1-0 Winnipeg. By now, the Jets were already dominating the game. It was quite obvious, and we were just barely into the first period. The Senators were being outskated, outworked. Chris Tierney, he'd go to the penalty box for slashing, giving Winnipeg another power play, and this power play was just brutal because they were getting so many opportunities. Pressure was immense. I don't know how many times Ottawa even got out of its own end just because Winnipeg was such a strong force. Ottawa would get a power play though, making it 4-on-4. Kopp would head off to the box for Winnipeg. There were plenty of failed setups on this power play and a scramble in front of the net, which all led to being unsuccessful, and we head into the second period. My notes at this point for this game just consisted of Matt Murray making incredible saves, because that's what he was doing at this moment. Paquette would get a nice shot on net, but not much long after that, Winnipeg would extend the lead by another goal. Lowry would score, giving Winnipeg 3-0 lead over the Senators thus far. The Senators could not clear the puck at this point. It was almost impossible for them to get into their own end, and when they tried, the puck would just bounce off their sticks and head back to the Winnipeg players. So, you know, a lot of people are going to crap on Murray for this game. A lot of those goals, sure, maybe he should have had at least one of them, but Murray was like hanging out to dry, basically. I didn't see anyone covering his butt. There were way more Jets players in front of the net than Senators players were, and no one was watching their guy. Senators had this long stretch pass that ultimately failed, and then after that, the Jets would score again, making it 4-0. Wheeler from Scheifele and Connor giving Jets the edge. Colin White would get a penalty in this game. Yes, he played in this game, and Nisimov and White were constantly switching out places in this series. Nothing would come from that power play, and there would be a power play right after again for the Jets as Austin Watson would head back to the box. And toward the end of the second period, it was just turnovers galore. Just every time the Sens tried something, it would turn over to a Winnipeg player and it would be back in the Senators zone. And now we get to the third period where Marcus Hoberg makes his season debut as DJ Smith decides to give Matt Murray the rest of the night off. And again, I just want to emphasize that Murray being pulled, that's not because he was playing poorly. That was just kind of getting the team shaken up so they can actually play a bit better. Murray was not the issue during this game. At this point during the game, there were some scrums going on, which led to Brady Tkachuk being sent off to the dressing room for the rest of the game. Winnipeg would end up getting a power play, but while the Sens were on the penalty kill, Hunter Brown would get actually a pretty nice chance to try and score. It didn't work though. Hellebuck is just a brick wall. I hate to be that guy crapping on officials, but I found there were a lot of stuff not getting called that should have been called. The Sens didn't really have any luck tonight. So during this power play for the Jets, they would also take a penalty and make it 4-on-4. And nothing came out of that 4-on-4. Absolutely nothing. The draw passes are still something going on, and I'm going to talk about that more later, but they need to stop. Hoberg was making some really good saves at this point, taking over the job Matt Murray was trying to perfect. The Senators, instead of trying to dump and chase the puck, a lot of them are trying to do the thing where you chip it in, you know, you dump it in, and you hit your teammate's stick, and then technically it's not icing because, oh, I touched it. Yeah, you know, I don't have issues with players doing it as long as it works, and every time I saw you guys do it tonight, it didn't work. At this point, I was just hoping we could break the shutout, honestly, just destroy Connor Hellebuck's confidence a tiny bit. After this, there wasn't really much to report on. It was just really sloppy hockey on the Senators' part. Chris Tierney ended up scoring on a nice shot again from Nikita Zaitsev, who is continuing his impressive play throughout the season. But after that, there was not much fight left, not much game left at that point either. Zaitsev would get a penalty toward the end of the game, and that's all there really was to report. The game ended. Really poor effort on that one. It was incredibly hard to watch. Just how unmotivated a lot of them seemed. The intensity wasn't really there, the plays were just way too fancy that game, and the Jets were clearly the better team from start to finish, without a doubt. And so then the Senators headed off to Winnipeg where they played the Jets last night at 10 p.m. and this game was, oh my god, did it really test my patience. It was a roller coaster. It was, really good, and then it was really bad, and it was really good, and it was really bad. It was a consistent flow of not being consistent for the Ottawa Senators. Just wanted to note, white jerseys look super sharp. White uniform looks super sharp. Marcus Holberg, he would get the actual start this game, giving Matt Murray the night off completely. Michael Haley was also subbed into this game, and he would have a fight early on in the first period to help set the tone, help pump up the Sens. Timmy was also still not playing. I really hope he's alright. I think he's going to be up for the game on Monday. It was also kind of funny. They showed a little clip at practice. Eric Gudbranson was getting fighting tips from the Toothless Wonder himself, Austin Watson. Thought that was pretty good chuckle to have. Now the Senators had some really good pressure early. Christian Wolainen was in for this game and he got absolutely robbed by Connor Hellebuck. It should have went in, but it's Connor Hellebuck in net. What are you going to do? Anisimov would also get a great opportunity on Hellebuck, but he would shut it down. Zaitsev would create a really good opportunity for the Sens to score as well. Didn't go through though. Though Mike Riley would end up getting a penalty for tripping, and this would lead to, guess what? A Jets power play goal by who other than Nikolai Ehlers. 1-0 Jets, and the Sens get to go on the power play after this. And why are we still drop passing? Seriously, why? How many games in the season are we? 6? Power play was wasted. We only had one good opportunity, and that was by Josh Norris himself. Not a lot else happened noteworthy for the rest of the first period. Heading into the second period, Evgeny Dadonov scores his first goal as an Ottawa Senator, and he just didn't give up on the play. He kept pushing forward. It was a nice goal. What a way to score your first goal for a new team. Nick Paul would add the assist to that. So good effort by Paul and an excellent finish by Evgeny Dadonov. The game at this point was really even. The Jets and the Sens were playing at an even pace. Their lines were matched up well with one another, and no one was really outplaying one another. Winnipeg would end up getting a goal from Kyle Connor. The Sens would have a quick answer though, as Brady Tkachuk picks up his second goal of the year on a feed from Norris and Austin Watson. Tkachuk has been playing really well, whether he's been producing, providing leadership, or fighting other people on the ice, getting the other team under their nerves. Brady Tkachuk has been playing really good so far this season. Holy Hoagie would have another Holy Hoagie moment as he has to bail out the Senators on what I didn't even know how he saved that. He played so well. This is why I don't think people should sleep on him. I think if you can draft him in fantasy, he's going to get enough games. He's a good steal. He's a good pickup. Hogberg would continue to bail out the Sens shot after shot. And the Sens would make a really nice play. And by that I mean Nick Paul was an absolute beauty of a shot. Get it past Connor Hellebuck and put the Sens up 3-2. We actually had the lead for once. We haven't had a lead and won in forever, but that will stay true. Just you keep watching. The Jets would strike, and my question on that goal was, where was our defense? What is defense? It was so weird seeing this level of effort from them in the third period. Like, did they all check out after they scored that third goal and just like, oh, we got 3, we'll be fine. I knew in my heart at this point the next team to score would be the team to win. Ottawa would get a really nice chance for a breakaway, which whiffed and led to an opportunity in Ottawa's zone, which thank God for Marcus Hogberg, geez. Sens would have to kill another penalty. I was really worried the Jets were going to seal the deal on that, but they didn't. Sens held on for a little longer until after they kill that penalty, Derek Stepan gets another penalty for throwing the puck over the glass, which he's gotten multiple times now. On that power play, the Jets score and make it 4-3. Eric Gudbranson should have had Paul Stastny. He was readily available. Eric Gudbranson should have been on Stastny in order to not let him score. That should have been his guy, but Stastny gets the goal, puts the Jets ahead. The Sens weren't done yet. They were not done yet. In fact, they decided to put some effort in, and they would score 23 seconds later. Derek Stepan, and now 1-goal game, except it's not. Connor Brown was offside. The play was reviewed, and he was barely offside, but goal gets taken back, and that just killed my chances. I was like, should I even bother watching the rest of this game? There's like 3 minutes left, but I did it anyways. Scheifele would score the empty netter, and the Sens would lose 6-3. Brady Tkachuk looked very discouraged at the end of this game. So, what do we do going forward? Draw passes need to stop. I don't care whether it's a power play thing or a regular thing. If you're going to do the draw pass, you got to make sure that it's going to work. There's so many times they set it up and it just didn't work at all. We need more simpler plays. They're trying to get too fancy and trying to like fake out the goalie or try to make it really hard to read the play. But those fancy plays don't work if you're not scoring. You can try and be fancy, but you gotta be able to make sure it works. A lot of the Senators' goals that they scored were just on simpler plays, and a lot of this fancy stuff wasn't working. Our best defenseman has been Nikita Zaitsev, who is, 5 points? And I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of Thomas Chabot's breakout. I find Thomas Chabot's breakout usually results in a drop pass or an incomplete pass. Mike Riley had good breakouts, and so did Nikita Zaitsev, which are your third and second pairing defensemen, which is a concern. The power play is abysmal. It's not working. Evgeny Dadonov was brought in to fix that power play, and he has got, 1-2 points? He got his first goal the other game and an assist in the other one. He's not producing on the power play. Nobody's been producing on the power play, and it's really hard. And even with the struggling power play, our penalty kill is alright. There are nights where our penalty kill looks really, really, really good, and we're able to kill off penalties. And we got decent penalty killers. We got Paquette, we got Watson, Nick Paul. But there's some nights where no one seems to also pull their weight, and a lot of the crap gets taken on the goaltender due to all those shots being allowed in. Hoberg and Murray can only do so much, and I don't blame any of those losses on them. The team I saw for the 50 minutes of that first game against the Jets was the team I saw beat Toronto in the first game. The team I saw in the second game was even worse than that loss to Toronto. There was little or no effort whatsoever, and there were glimpses of that team that beat Toronto and almost beat Winnipeg on that third game. The Sens need to start finishing. When they're on their A game, they're really good at getting the lead. They're really good at matching the pace of their opponents, working just as hard as them, and throwing around more hits. Like, dude, a lot of those hits in the Jets games are like 41 for Ottawa and 14 for Winnipeg. They aren't able to finish, which is why they lost in overtime, and they lost the game last night. I really hope to get Timmy back in the lineup. I think that will help. That will help things. People are already calling for DJ Smith's head. I think it's too early. This team hasn't played hockey in like 10 months. A lot of them are very new to the organization. They're still learning their chemistry, their plays. DJ Smith's still trying to figure out the lineup. He's got a lot of bodies and dudes to work with, but something's got to change because we're not effective 5-on-5. We're barely effective with our special teams. So recap, the first game, Senators lose. They lay an egg 4-3 in overtime versus the Jets. They lose to the Jets 5-1 in that second game, which was extremely hard to watch. And in that third one, they lose 6-3. And a game that they probably could have won if they just tried a little harder. The Senators are back out on Monday, where they hope to snap out of their losing streak, where they take on the Vancouver Canucks, who are also having a rocky start to their season. I'm going to be doing game reviews in little bits of series just to make it easier with my school schedule. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, if you guys like this video, share it with your friends, give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Go Sens, go!